Dennis, where are you from?
I am from Venezuela.
So, but you're from Venezuela, and the rest of the family are from Colombia. But you have Colombian ties.
Well, I've never been to Colombia, but my father and my mother are Colombian. So yeah, I have Colombian blood in me, but since I was born and raised in Venezuela, I have like kind of like that duality. But I was very much connected to the Colombian culture through my dad, because my dad was straight up vallenato, and it was like, that was his thing. He loved it. He really liked it, and he liked music. But he wasn't a musician. Like, he didn't play any instruments, or he just did like choral stuff when he was growing up in school, and that was basically it.
But you that your dad would pick up like found sounds when you went on trips, and he would start doing little rhythms with little coconuts and stuff like that. That was like for him, and so that's where you got your sort of rhythmic practice.
Yeah, I think that's where I first heard something that's called la clave, which is like a certain beat. It's like ta 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 ta, and he would do it with these like shells, coconut shells, like dry coconut shells that he found on the beach, and he would just like make the rhythm, and I would try to replicate it. Like, he would say, "Can you do it?" And I'm like, done. Okay, so what else?
You got
Wow. And so like your big thing is rhythm, and you have a really good ear, and so that right there will help you so immensely, right? It helps with listening for certain sounds and rhythms and pitches when you're producing and creating the track itself, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It does help me, but I also feel that having more sets of ears actually pick up different things. So the collaboration that we do, like when I actually do something, like finish something and I show it to the band, they pick up on things that I might not hear because I hear the song so many times, while I'm doing the process of mixing and adding effects and stuff. So that makes the product even better. The whole collaboration of like, oh, I think this should change or that should change. It actually makes the song a great product.
That's one of his qualities. I'm sorry. That's actually one of his qualities, because if he didn't have that attitude of listening to everybody, then it would be a different thing, So I really always tell him that I admire that a lot of him, because he listens, and we can collaborate that way. Because I have worked with people that don't listen, and then it's going to, something is wrong, but there is no way for it to be corrected. But Dennis has that wonderful quality that he listens, and he's humble enough. Yeah.
Well, and
I like
amazing
to work with him like that,
because you have the unique opportunity to be as a group. And so, Dennis, you're not just creating the tech. You're not just the tech part of it. You have an investment, like an emotional investment in this as well, because you're in the group. So a lot of times in a lot of studios, people will just listen for sound quality or whatever, but they're not really nuanced, and they're not necessarily emotionally invested in it. So that's yeah.
And I mean, I think that because we always grew up, like I grew up making music with my family, and music has always been kind of a part of our life, and it's been the way that we connect as a family. It's so for us, music is really kind of just like a joy, and it's something that, well, my dad has always liked sharing music. Even though music is the way that he has made money his whole life, he still makes a distinction between, it being something of value also as a gift. And so it's not just like a work, it's also a valuable gift that you can give.
Right.
So we have, you know, I've grown up kind of with that concept being very clear too. And so for us making music, the project that we're doing, you know, of course, like we know that we have a valuable product, and we are not going to downplay it in any way. Like, we expect to be, you know, like given what we deserve with it, basically, you know, but we also really see it as a gift that we're giving, and we put a lot of love and a lot of joy into it, and we really just do it because of that. Like, that's really why we do it, because of it makes us happy, and we believe in sharing what we like. We really want to share that with people, and we want to create, you know, to connect with the world in that way. And so, I mean, I believe that actually heaven is our awareness of our unity. So I kind of think of it that way, like when we're all listening to a song together, and we're all kind of tuning into the music, and it's like with art, we can be aware of our unity. So I feel that as a family, we're all very connected to that mission, and Dennis is also really connected to that. So it's not just like we're all kind of doing our thing and all adding things. Like, we all have that same like, we put the same heart into it, which you know, makes it very different.
I want to say something. I got a message from a friend today with a beautiful message I sent all of you. I don't know if you have read it, but apparently today is the Musicians' Day, at least in Colombia. I don't know.
Well, it's in many parts of the world, it's the Saint. Yeah, it's like the patron musicians. So
So the message is very beautiful, and has to do with what Sarilisa is saying. It says a musician is not the one that plays, you know, notes. A musician is one that touches hearts, and I love that. I love that message.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because of the focus that classical musicians get on making it so perfect, sometimes a little bit of that part. And like, I went to school for opera. Like, I have my degree in classical, like I'm classically trained. And so I can see how sometimes we focus so much on the academic aspect of it that we kind of forget about, you know, the heart that you have to put into it. Not to say that, you know, we don't put heart into it, but sometimes it can get that way. And so I think what's really special about the way I grew up is that I really got, you know, a really well-rounded like view of that. And my dad has always even though he's classically trained, he's definitely always put a lot of heart in his playing. I mean, there's no question about that. But but it's been really cool that that we've gotten kind of both. We've been able to meld those two worlds together and create something really beautiful. And that's what Sarabandi actually means, is that we don't have to be at war with each other. We can create something beautiful instead of saying, I'm better, or this is the legitimate one, or this is the one that it should be. Or we can actually, you know, step out and say, wait, we can actually work together because we actually want the same thing, and let's create something beautiful together instead of, you know, fighting about trivial things.
Diversity enriches us. So that's how I feel, you know. The fact that I am not a musician that have gotten training, you know, like officially, because I have done some studies, but I have never I don't have a degree in music. I have a degree in education. So that has allowed me to, how do you say that? To try many different things in a very open-minded way. So it has enriched me a lot. So that I bring that too, and that is valuable as well. Even though I'm a very empirical musician, because since I was very little, I'm doing music, and I don't even remember when I started to play the guitar. Because it's like Dennis, I started playing the guitar, and when I knew I was Angela, I was playing the guitar, but I don't know how. So I think that that training side of the classical world and these empirical popular experiences, rhythmic experiences, and they together make an interesting thing, and we are the example of that. That diversity brings enrichment instead of division or whatever.
Well, and that brings me to how you describe yourselves. So you do describe yourselves as Latin folk fusion. Is that right?
Well,
That's
I don't know.
Bringing it together, but it's kind of hard to explain everything because there's so many influences that come together. I mean, obviously we have the folk experience of, especially with Latin music, but there's also a lot of influences of different musics in Latin culture, American music. There's Brazilian music like bossa nova, which has a lot of jazz influence. So there's a lot of influences in what you would call pop music in Latin music nowadays. So it's very difficult to put everything like in a box. There's a great of different experiences and different musical palettes that come together, and so we like to be free to explore those palettes, and then the little classical tint that with either with the cello or with Sarah's opera training or whatever. So
we don't have any rules, basically.
Yeah,
there's no rules.
Yeah, we go back to what Sarabandi is, which is like the union of all these paths coming into this epicenter and blowing up into
and creating something beautiful and new.
Yeah, it's just
allowing it to make a mixture, maybe unheard of mixture, I don't know. but it's very unique, and we feel very lucky that we can do this together.